You walk through the city at dusk, shoulders slightly hunched against the wind that carries no one's voice calling your name. The streets are full, people moving in every direction, earbuds sealing them into private worlds, screens lighting faces from below like ghosts who forgot how to look up. You pass doorways, hundreds of them, glass and steel and wood, each one a mouth that opens and closes without expectation. No one waits behind most of them. No one turns a face toward the sound of your footsteps with that soft, animal certainty that once meant you belonged somewhere enough to be missed when you were late. Feel it now, that small hollow behind your sternum. It opens when you push through the glass door of the coffee shop and the barista glances only long enough to confirm you are a customer, not a person expected. And you order the same thing you always order. The words come automatic, polite, weightless. The transaction completes. You take your cup to a table near the window and sit among other solitary figures bent over laptops or phones, each islanded in light. No one looks up when you settle. No ripple moves through the room. You have arrived and nothing has changed. Breathe with it. Let the restlessness spread through your limbs like cool water poured slowly. You are not broken for feeling this. You are simply human in a time when the old signals have gone quiet. Once, arrival carried a charge. The door opening altered the atmosphere. Faces turned, not always with joy, sometimes with irritation, weariness, relief. But they turned. That turning was proof. You occupied a place in the geometry of other lives. Your coordinates mattered. Now the geometry has expanded infinitely. You are a point in a field so vast that no single point pulls the others off course. Walk with that thought down the sidewalk. Notice how many doors you pass without entering, how many windows hold only reflections of streetlights and passing cars. Notice how rarely anyone stands at those windows watching for someone. The gesture has become archaic, like handwriting letters or mending socks. We replaced waiting with tracking. A blue dot moves across a map. A message arrives. 5 minutes away. Precision is perfect. Expectation is obsolete. Lie down tonight and feel the bed receive you without anticipation. No one saved the warm spot. No one kept the lamp tilted just so. You arrange the pillows yourself. You turn off the light yourself. The dark arrives impartial. For in that impartial dark, the question sharpens. When did the world stop holding its breath for your footsteps? Let the mind drift backward now, not to romanticize, but to remember. Not to wish for return, but to understand what was lost when we gained distance. Picture a low stone house, smoke curling from a chimney made of river rock. Winter dusk settles early. Inside, the air is thick with wood smoke, boiled cabbage, wool drying by the hearth. You push open the door, wood swollen with damp, hinges complaining, and the room changes before you finish crossing the threshold. Heads lift. Conversations pause mid-sentence. A child at the table stops kicking the chair leg. An old woman by the fire turns her face, eyes milky but still sharp enough to recognize gait. No one says, "You're late," or "Where have you been?" They do not need to. Your arrival is information. It completes something that was unfinished in the room. There was hardship in that completion. The same faces that turned toward you could turn away in disapproval. The same hands that fed you could strike you. The same voices that asked after your day could pry until privacy bled out. Belonging was never soft. It came with teeth. You were seen, yes, but seen too clearly sometimes. Your failures were communal property. Your sorrows were shared burdens. Your joys were rationed, so no one grew too proud. The doorway held expectation, but expectation could wound as easily as it could heal. Still, the expectation existed. It was structural. You were woven into the pattern so tightly that pulling one thread tugged the whole cloth. When you left in the morning, the house felt your absence. When you returned, it felt your return. The turning of faces was not courtesy. It was nervous system recognition. One of us is here again. The circle is whole for another night. Move deeper into that memory. Feel the cold air at your back as you step inside. Smell the peat smoke, the damp wool, the faint sourness of fermenting grain. Hear the low murmur of voices picking up where they left off, the scrape of a chair being pushed back so you can sit. Someone pushes a bowl toward you without asking if you're hungry. They know you are. They know the hollow walk of someone who has been out in the wind too long. No one needs to explain. The knowledge is bodily, passed down through seasons of scarcity and seasons of enough. Now notice the contradictions. Nostalgia wants to polish this scene until it glows. It wants to forget the rheumatism that bent the old woman's fingers, the child's cough that never quite left his chest, the lean winters when the bowl pushed toward you held more water than grain. It wants to erase the fights that erupted over nothing because everyone was tired and afraid and there was nowhere else to put the fear. Nostalgia lies sweetly. It says the past was warmer, simpler, truer, but the past was only smaller. Smaller distances, smaller escapes, smaller silences. What you feel is not the desire to return. What you feel is the body mourning a state in which your existence was undeniable. Not celebrated, not perfect, simply undeniable. You could not vanish. You could not be replaced with a text. If you failed to appear, someone would walk the paths calling your name. If you died, the gap would tear the fabric for years. That tearing was terrible. It was also proof of meaning. Let the ache of that proof settle now. Do not push it away. Do not cling to it. Simply let it breathe beside you. Because here is the quiet truth. Nostalgia is not weakness. It is a survival signal. Your nervous system remembers a time when social bonds were life support, when isolation meant exposure to weather, predators, starvation. The longing for faces that turn toward you is not sentimentality. It is ancient code still running in the background, whispering, once being awaited kept you alive. We have outlived that code. Most of us no longer die from solitude. We have safety nets woven from laws, markets, infrastructure. We have freedom to choose our circles, to leave them, to ghost them entirely. The price is this gentle vertigo, the knowledge that no doorway waits for your particular rhythm anymore. No circle sags when you step outside it. You are free, and freedom is spacious enough to feel empty. Rest here a moment. Let the mind soften around the edges. You do not need to solve the emptiness. You only need to stop running from it. Feel how the body still orients toward the old signal, still pauses at thresholds, hoping for the impossible turn of a face. Feel how gently absurd that hope is now. Feel how tender it remains. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let each breath carry a little more of the restlessness down into the earth. You are not being punished. You are not failing. You are living in the narrow window between two worlds. One that demanded your presence, one that permits your absence. Both worlds are true. Both are incomplete. Now let the memory fade like smoke rising from a dying fire. Let the stone house dissolve. Let the voices quiet. What remains is not the past. What remains is the sensation, the quiet electric hum of a nervous system that once knew it was necessary and still feels the ghost of that necessity even when the structure has changed. Lie back. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands rest open. The bed is beneath you. The room is around you. No one is coming. No one needs to come. And yet the animal inside you still listens for footsteps that are not there. Let it listen. Let it grow accustomed to the silence. Let it learn that silence is not abandonment. It is only space. Space enough to breathe. Space enough to be here without needing to be awaited. Space enough to arrive, quietly, for yourself. Now the fire is low. Embers pulse red beneath grey ash. No one stirs them. No one adds wood. The heat lingers, soft, persistent, fading at its own pace. You do not need to watch it die. You only need to stay until the warmth becomes memory, until memory becomes breath, until breath becomes the slow rise and fall of a body that no longer waits to be seen, but is here anyway. Here, in the quiet, in the dark, in the soft collapse of what once was expected into what simply is. Let the last ember blink once, twice, then darkness, then rest.